Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 in this video series of securing fields in ServiceNow. In this video we are going to discuss UI policies, and I'm going to reiterate the point that I made with client scripts. Like client scripts, UI policies are no guarantee of data security. Use them for usability purposes, sure, hide fields, show fields, make them read only, etc. But do not use them to enforce security. Okay, let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so we're going to use the same example that we did in the last video. We are going to show and hide the pin field under certain conditions. Okay, so let me go to ServiceNow Studio, and I have a simple UI policy here. There are actually no conditions associated with this UI policy. There are no UI policy actions. Actually, everything I've got here is contained in a script. It's a little bit nonsensical. I wouldn't implement it like this in real life, but just for demonstration purposes, we have got a script here that basically evaluates whether the user has the car's admin role, similar to our previous video with our client script. And if they do have the car's admin role, we are going to show the pin field. If not, we are going to hide it. So let me activate it and save it. All right, and let's go back to the record that we were using before. So in this case, we want to hide and show the pin field. So for admins here, if I just refresh this page, there should actually be no change. As a car's admin, I can see this just fine. But if I come to a car's admin user and refresh this page, suddenly that field is no longer there. But just as we saw with client scripts, I can come here in my browser and I can go to the source code for the page itself. And we saw for a brief moment in time, about half a second, that that field did actually display before it was hidden by the script. So it is actually there. So if you come to the source code for the page itself and go to, well, at the moment, if we highlight that element there, we're looking at the no pin field. But if I come to the next form group div there, and just drill down a little bit, we can see here we've got the value for the pin right there, 447910. Again, no guarantee of data security. It's not displayed on the form, but just by looking at the source code for the page, I can see the value easily enough. Okay, so let's close that. And let me come back to my admin, and I'm just going to deactivate that UI policy right there and save it. And let's look at another example. All right, so let's go to this one right here. In this case, if the no pin checkbox is set to true, we are going to make the pin field read only. Okay, let's see if that works. It's sure this is a very basic configuration in the Now platform. So now if I come here to my form and again reload it, okay, if I select no pin to true, that makes the pin field read only. Okay, and I can save that just fine. All right, if I come over to my other user here, you can see this value is being changed. If I just refresh this here, because that UI policy needs a chance to load in this page. And now I can see that the pin field is shown. If I deselect it here, it's writable. Okay. All right. I could still go ahead and modify this value in the source code. Okay. If I do that, I'm just going to maybe save this record again. Go back to ServiceNow Studio. I'm going to make one to the UI policy action here. So I will open it up. Now, in addition to this field being read-only, I am going to hide it as well. I'm going to set visible to false and update that. Okay, so let's check the result. Let's go to my page here, refresh. The no pin flag has been set to true, therefore that field is not there. If I deselect it, it's visible and I can change it. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's go back to my car's user. It should be the same behavior. If I just refresh the page here, just so that UI policy has a chance to load, or the new version. If I deselect no pin, again, visible. I can change it, select it, it's gone. Okay, now if I save it, you may think that's the end of the story, that can't see that field, I can't change it. Well, yeah, I could just deselect that field, but I could also do the following. Again, we could go to the source code, right click, inspect. Okay, initially the no pin field is selected here, but if I just scroll down a little bit further to the next form group here, we can see the next field that's been hidden, which is the pin field itself. And if I expand this branch here, we can see the value 447910. And guess what? Just like we could with our client script example before, I can come in here and just change this to 999999, enter. Okay, now we don't see any change on the page itself here, but we get an update button now. So if I click that, that record will be saved. If I come back to my other session here, you can see the value for pin has now been set to 999999. So again, the moral of this story once more is do not use UI policies just like client scripts for securing data in ServiceNow. Use them for usability purposes to ensure that you collect the data only when you need it, show fields when you need to show fields, make them read only when they need to be read only, but do not rely on them for data security. In the next video, we're going to start now enforcing data security a little bit more using view rules. So stay tuned for that one.